Monday night, we're back at it. Boys and girls, we are live, and we have got another guest for you. We have got an awesome guest for you guys tonight. Mr. Wes and his amazing fox body Cobra that's built for speed. And you are not going to want to miss this because it's going to be your night to ask any questions you guys want about his fox, because his fox lays down some power, and you guys got to be ready for this, man. So let's say hi real quick, and he's already on with us, so we'll get him rocking. What's up, ISP, Tariq, Looney, Wes? I'll get you on right now. Hang tight. Kevin, what's up? Kinda Turbo, 91 Fox, Drums Toolbox, Chad Clark. Keep on coming. Sending Wes that request right now, and we are going live. Make sure to ask some questions, guys, so we'll get you guys interacting with us, but I got my own questions too.
Hey, what's up?
Wes?
What's going on? Let me turn the volume up.
Yep, me too. Let me toss it up a little bit. There we go. Perfect.
What's happening?
Not too much, my friend. How you doing tonight?
Doing pretty good. I had to spend all day. My light went out. I had to fix it because I figured we need a little light in the garage when we did this. So that actually kept me busy way too long.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. I want to say thank you for coming on with us. We're all very excited to talk to you and learn more about what you do and that awesome fox body of yours.
Yeah, I was hoping maybe some guys on there would ask me the questions now, and I'd be able to answer them in a way that they understand. Sometimes when I text stuff, you know, it's real hard for the communication to go smoothly. So some of the simple questions like what exhaust and stuff like that, you know, I can answer that or whatever. But you had sent me a list.
Yep.
Do you want to just like ask me and then I answer? Or?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we'll typically do is I'll bang out the general questions that I have for you, and then what we'll do is we'll keep our eyes peeled for the questions that pop on there, and we'll answer them as we go.
Okay. All right. Cool.
So again, thank you again for coming on tonight. We'll start with the first question, and that's how did you get into Mustangs in general? How'd you get into the car world?
So racing. I grew up with it. My dad raced, even my uncle raced some, and but my dad and all of his friends, you know, he was the guy. He was me, you know, when I was little. You know, if anybody come by the house and they saw, he always had something. But it's funny because he's a Chevy guy.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right.
Yeah, but you know, he had a G body. He had a '69 Camaro. He's always had Chevelles, Novas. He's got a Chevy too now. But yeah, just growing up with my dad, going to the racetrack, and some of my best memories, like when I was little, are involved racing. So that right there, I've always been into racing. The funny part though is my dad always raced cars, and I actually raced everything but cars for a long time. Jet skis, razors, dirt bikes, all that. But it wasn't until a couple of my buddies, they picked up some Mustangs, and I thought, man, I got to get me one too. And first time I pulled up my dad's house, he told me I had to park it down the road.
No way! Oh, was he just busting your balls a little bit?
Yeah. He doesn't like Fords much. He likes this car now though. But and then so that's the racing background. But Mustangs more came from the town I'm in. A lot of people have Mustangs. A lot of my buddies have Mustangs, and I mean, they're just, if you're going to drag race, it's a great chassis to start with. 99 to 04 is, man, that's a really good chassis to start with, you know, to race. It just works. But so I guess my dad got me into it, and then the Mustangs was just more of a friends thing. And now I've had several Mustangs, but this one by far is my favorite.
Awesome. How many would you say you had total, roughly?
I had a silver coupe. I had a white hatch. I had the Cobra. I had a 04 Cobra.
Nice.
A 2014 GT.
Nice.
I think that's all the Mustangs I've had.
Almost like I'm a handful or so.
Yeah, yeah, not a whole lot. This one right here I've had for a while. I think I got it in like 2012, I think, is when I
Yep.
got it. Somewhere around there. No, because my dog, I was probably about 2014 or something.
Oh, nice. So you had it for a while, and you've done a lot to it too.
Yeah, so when I got this thing, a buddy of mine went with me. I had a Jeep. I didn't have a truck that I could even pull a car. And we drove to North Georgia. So far North Georgia, you actually have to go into Tennessee and then come back. Anyway, and I'm like middle, lower Georgia. Anyway, about 3 hour drive. And
Yep.
we got there, and I wasn't, at the time, I didn't understand the significance of Cobra or especially a Teal one. And my buddy that buys and sells them at the time, he was like, look, man, if you don't get this car, I am. And so I bought it, and he actually drove it home. But it was pretty much stock when I got it. That car had
Yeah.
mufflers, a cam, nothing crazy. Nothing, I mean.
Yeah.
And
Was
then,
that was
go
that
ahead.
set, Wes? Was that the setup that you had before what you had now? The setup that you sold to one of your friends?
Yeah,
Like,
so I bought it. I think it had some AFR 165s. It had like something similar to like an E-Cam, the stock Cobra intake, and exhaust. Well, I put a S-Trim supercharger on it, a ProMotion clutch, a ProMotion T5 in it, and I 5-lugged it.
yeah.
And I raced it like that for probably about 2 years. And it ran pretty good. It's just around where I'm from, every weekend there's a nitrous race, So if you're trying to class race, you really wanted a nitrous car. And and the supercharger wasn't really fast enough for around here, that even the junior nitrous classes. So
Yeah.
that's when I made the switch to 351 and nitrous setup. And it's got Holley EFI, and man, that thing, I love it. Like, since I went to a
Please.
351, I just think, man, why would you do anything different?
Dude, man, I can't tell you the amount of people that I talk to that you, including myself, that you inspire just by the content that you put up, and you put in, I'm sure, a lot of you know sweat and tears into that car, and passes and stuff like that. We see the photos and we hear about it. A lot goes into what you do, and you inspire a lot of people, man.
It's funny. So I was thinking about this little thing going on tonight, and I was
Yeah.
thinking about something so there's a couple things that make my car fast. Of course, UPR suspension, my Black Magic clutch, Holley EFI, those three things. And no, I'm not sponsored. That's just, I believe that much in them.
Okay.
But those guys, they make good products. It just works. And so those three things. But then the most important thing is hard work, dedication, and what people don't, that's what they don't see. You'll never see it on my Instagram. I mean, you can probably gather you'll see I'm going testing, or you'll see some test passes. That takes effort just to get out there and make those test passes. But I don't know if you can see, I got a 2-car garage. This whole car was built right here in this garage. When I painted the engine bay, the rest of the car is original paint, but the engine bay I painted myself, and I actually made a makeshift paint booth in this garage.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think I have a picture on Instagram, but that was just painting. But I'm just using that example. It's the trial and error. It's the, and especially with a stick car, before I had the Black Magic, man, I broke so much stuff using,
I bet.
I broke a T5, and I actually rebuilt the manuals on that bench back there behind the car. And I rebuilt the T5 5 or 6 times, just trying to keep the car going. And but that, you'll never see that, and that's what people got to understand. And I get, sometimes guys will question, like, oh, they got this set up and something's not working, and I can't give them the answer.
Right.
2 + 2 is 4.
It's not like that.
It's not. And a lot of times, you just got to go out there and make the passes. You've got to go out there and listen to what your car wants. And so I just really wanted to, people to know it's that hard work, and there's guys out there that are much faster than me and they work, twice as hard, so
Yeah. But
that's very important.
I can definitely tell, and that's what I was kind of saying earlier. Your content, man, like you put in all of that hard work, and people are seeing, maybe a picture of a post, but there's so much that goes into that you experience. So just like a simple answer to give to someone, that's not how it works,
Right, right. And I'm not very good at social media or videos. I made a video of the two different diaphragm clutch and the long style clutch, trying to explain the differences. And man, I felt like an idiot the whole time. I'm just not good at that type of stuff. I wish I was, because then I might be able to help more. But I'm hoping that, if people maybe we can find some questions and maybe I can get something answered.
We actually, I think we got a couple. So let me take a look. We had a couple people that said Windsor gang, so which is kind of cool. What's up,
I almost wore it's too hot, but I almost wore my 9.5 deck hoodie.
Oh, there you go. Let's see. Someone asked, is your antenna on the driver's side? Is that an antenna?
Yes, but that's where my nitrous purge comes out.
Ah, okay. I think that's
so I took an antenna. It was like from AutoZone or something, and I drilled a hole all the way down it, and I ran my nitrous purge to it. So when I purge the nitrous, it comes out the antenna. I think I got a picture, but I don't know if you can tell where it's coming out. But that's where it comes out, the antenna.
Yeah, I saw that picture. I think you were actually staging and you were purging it, but I think it's a rear view, I think.
Yeah, it was that shady side up there in South Carolina or North Carolina. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we got from 91 Fox Body asked, what amp alternator do you have? I don't know if that's
it's an SN95 alternator, the 3G.
The 3G, okay.
Yeah, I got it from a buddy. It was laying a pile of parts. He said, "Here, take it." And so that's what's on the car.
Okay, cool. What about, and you can go as in depth as you'd like to, because I'm sure you get questions like this. As far as tuning goes, do you do all that yourself? And what about that?
So when I went to Holly EFI, I started tuning the car by myself, and I did okay. I won a couple races that way. Well, the problem is when I started racing like the guys at Shady Side, I'm over there, one-man team. I had a couple buddies that would come, but these guys got, like real crews, and here I am trying to open a laptop and make the changes, but I'm also trying to check my tire pressure and change the nitrous bottle out and you name it, and
do everything.
Yeah, and so a friend of mine, Mick Mims, told me about Ryan McCain, and I got in contact with Ryan, and man, I just now I just boot the computer up, make sure it's got Wi-Fi, and if he'll message me, but he just flies on it, and that now that he can tune the car, he'll tune a pass. The car is essentially tuned, but he can tune a pass. Like if we're at a track and it's it's kind of greasy, it's real hot or something, he'll get that car to go A to B if he has. He can tune every pass individually. And when he started doing that, it just made it a lot easier on me, because then I could focus on all the other stuff that comes along with it. And but I do have now, I got some friends, like my buddy David comes with me all the time. He helps and does, he's starting to do even more. Last week testing, my wife came with me and she helped me.
That's awesome.
So, but yeah, I know I did tune it, but now I let Ryan do his thing, and
that's good. I mean, you get what you want out of it, and it's getting you to the end goal eventually. Eventually. Right. My friend Work Equipment Rob asked if you could explain a little bit more about the Black Magic clutch. Your experience.
So, like I said before, before I had regular standard diaphragm clutches,
Yep.
I was tearing stuff up. They were inconsistent, and my neighbor had a Black Magic clutch, and one day I went to help him to tune it. And after that day that I helped him tune it, and I saw what his car did once it was right, I was like, I gotta have one of these. And since I went there, you know, knock on wood, haven't broke any parts. The car runs consistently. It works. It just works, man. It's just a better design. It's a better quality. I mean, it's so pretty. I don't even want to cover it up with a bell housing. I mean, billet aluminum, you know, and all. And but those guys are really, if you're into stick shift racing, you need their clutch. Period.
That's the clutch.
End of story. That's it. Those guys, man, they know what they're doing.
I've seen, and I also saw, because I've obviously been following you for a bit, you know, some of the products that you've had in it before. We won't say those names and things like that, but you've had some pretty good quality stuff in there. But,
yeah, I've had, as far as clutches, I've had ProMotion, Center Force, I've had a Spec, I've had McLeod. McLeod,
yep.
And all the ones I just named there, the Center Force is the only thing I'd put in another car. The rest are junk, in my opinion. Somebody else, I just saw it's a G101A with a long H pattern shifter. For the longest time, so this is a grudge car, so I kind of
keep it on the down low.
Yeah, I mislead people and things. For the longest time, I just told everybody it was a T56, which a built T56, you know, the fastest stick car in the world runs that. So, I mean, they're really good transmissions. The G101A was just cheaper. And I do like the fact that I can change my gear ratios individually, very cheap, and do it in 30 minutes. I mean, the transmission's made to come apart and go back together. So
easy.
It was so easy the first time that I was tricking myself, making it harder than it was. And I called a buddy and I'm like, I can't get this clip off. And he's like, I don't know why you would want it off. Just push the thing. And then I was like, oh my gosh, it just came right. I couldn't believe how easy it was. But
you're probably like, I had to have done something wrong. This is too easy.
Yeah, well, I didn't think I could just push the whole counter shaft. It just comes right out. I'd never seen anything like that. But that transmission is great too, because like the only reason why I've been in it is to change gear ratios. It's actually nothing's ever broken in it, so it's a really good transmission. And that's a G-Force G101A. I don't know if the Coyote stock guys run it, and a couple of the fast H pattern guys like myself run it. But I saw another question on there.
Yeah, you got what style subframe connectors and torque reinforcements do you have?
Okay, so this car actually does not have through the floor subframe connectors. It has, I believe they're Stita, but they're the ones that go all the way back to the lower torque box, and they actually weld that box, because stick cars are hell on torque boxes. So we actually helped that. We used that, and I actually even made some pieces to kind of stiffen it up there. But yeah, I believe they're actually Stitas. But you'll know there. I do think that more than one brand makes the exact same one that goes all the way to that box.
All the way back. Mm-hmm. Yep. What about Angel Cabernet Fox asks, do you still do much street driving with it, or is it just strictly drag now?
Okay, so I do less street driving, and it's not that the car is capable of it. It's just, so for the longest time I had two sets of wheels, and so I would swap the wheels out. And to be honest with you, I just got tired of swapping wheels in and out. So that right there really cut down on my street driving. So now, like if the slicks start getting some age on them, or a lot of passes on them, then that's when I'll start driving it more. My wife still drives the car.
Really?
Typically at this point, I kind of ask her, because like if I beat someone, and you know, especially those LS guys, oh well, you got a race car, and then they'll feel real stupid when they see my wife driving it. And I'm like, oh, well, I mean, but yeah, so I took my daughter to the daddy-daughter dance in the car. And I mean, we do, like, we had some friends had a party the other weekend, you know, because we got it at Georgia here. We're not in quarantine completely now. And so they kind of had like a little gathering. And so we took the Cobra over there. I just take it on things like that. And then the other thing is, I mean, y'all see a grown man cry if someone hit me on the street. I mean, I would be devastated. So.
Oh my God. Can you imagine?
Yeah. So I really don't. I probably drive it on the street once or twice a month now. That's about it.
Oh, gotcha. I think it's funny because I think your wife is on with us and she asked what the PSI is.
PSI. Oh gosh, there's no telling. She's probably read some crap I've said something to somebody, and there's no telling what she's saying. I think she told me to flex my muscle a minute ago.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, she's a trip. She's funny.
That's awesome. I saw that you have her on the page, and she's a big supporter of what you do, which I think is awesome.
Oh yeah. So like she always has. Like I said, I used to race, you know, jet skis, and I raced side by sides at one time. And man, at one time in side by sides, you had to have a passenger, and she actually rode with me, and I wouldn't ride with me. You had to have one, so we were flying. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, she's been great. She's really has been supportive, and my daughter loves the car. That's her baby. She tells me that when she gets it, she's already got it all planned out when it's hers.
Oh man, you're gonna have to ask her to drive it once it's hers.
Oh yeah. I wish she would get in. I tried to show her a junior dragster, and she just didn't seem too interested. But
not yet.
So earlier today, someone had asked me what exhaust. So I'm gonna maybe they'll see this part of the video because I think you put it on your YouTube too. So I'm gonna give a quick rundown of the stuff out there. So the car's 351 base motor, Holley EFI, UPR suspension front to back, K member, anti-roll bar, control arms, you name it. There was a gnat. Exhaust. I have long tube headers, a 3-inch custom X pipe, and some MagnaFlow straight through mufflers. I got the biggest ones I could put in there. So the car is extremely quiet. I don't know. In the videos, you really can't tell, but if you ever see a video with me racing another car, you can't even hear mine.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Like when I race, like, there's an in-car where I'm racing Jonathan Atkins, the Tick Performance Camaro. And once he gets on his two-step, you can't hear my car at all.
Wow.
And even in the car, I can hear my car like feel it vibrating, but I can't hear over what theirs is doing. It's super quiet. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to hit on what others.
Someone had asked, what about suspension setup? Is that something you can answer?
Yeah. So suspension is every metal, you know, UPR K member, the chrome Molly K member with the A arms, coilovers, UPR coilovers. The shock or struts in the front they were Lakewood 9010s forever. I just put some Strange 10-ways in it.
Nice.
And then the rear, I had Strange 10-ways forever. And I recently put some Mitzers double adjustable in the rear. And those are coilover. It's still stock location in the rear and all. Everything's stock location. I don't have any, it's got stock torque boxes. Really,
how do you like the new setup in the back, Wes?
So here's the craziest part. The car has not 60'd any better since I went to the double adjustable shock.
No way.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I hadn't had it long enough. So I probably only ran it maybe 10, 12 passes with the new shock. So I can't really, I'm sure I'll get it down. But right now, it's 60 and the same. There was a little learning curve there. It actually got worse when I first put them on. Because before, I had no adjustment, so it just is what it is. But now I have adjustments, so I'm having to learn that.
so you can play around with it more. So like you said, it's almost like a learning curve with it.
Yeah, I
And
see. TJ said something about my half-inch studs. Yep, I have half-inch studs on the back. Still, it works. I don't know. The
there you
car doesn't
go.
make any power, so it doesn't do anything.
Uh,
Tell everybody.
Dom had asked if you're okay with it. What's the rear setup like? Your rear end and stuff.
Okay, so the rear end, I actually, that's one thing I outsourced. I got a buddy, and his name's Jeff Davis, and man, he does some great fabrication work. Well, anyway, we got 9-inch ends welded on. It's still the stock length, which he thought I was crazy for doing that, but I didn't want to get. If the car ever goes back stockish, then I wanted to be able to just put things back the way I want it. Well, anyway, so it's stock length, but it's got 9-inch ends, strange axles, 35 spline axles. It's got a strange spool, 355 gears.
That's pretty solid, man.
I think the support cover is probably a Summit brand or nothing fancy.
Yeah. TJ said, I think those conical lug nuts caused mine.
When he posted that he had bent his, that was my first thought. These shank lug nuts are better. That's why so a lot of times you'll see these guys running these cheaper wheels and all, which is great. I ran them for the longest time, but eventually they can cause problems. And not all of them are cheaper. Sometimes they'll be a nice wheel, a high priced wheel, but it'll have a conical lug nut. And I don't know. I think a shank lug nut would be better.
We had someone ask, actually, let me see. Fastest stick shift car in Georgia, that's you. Someone had asked, are you still thinking Pro Charger down the road?
Yes, but only if I could. I'd need some help. I mean, to be honest with you, it's not a shop car. I don't have anybody helping me financially with it or, any of that. So I would love to have a Pro Charger, but I would also need a motor to go along with it. And the only way that's going to happen is if I got some kind of help through a company or something like that,
Yeah.
And I mean, if Pro Charger wants to send me a Pro Charger, we can, it'll be on the car. We can make that happen.
I think we have CJ Pony on here.
Hey, CJ Pony. This thing looks good. I might even put a CJ Pony sticker on there. Yeah. Maybe they can help me out.
Let's help Wes out here. Can we give the guy a hand here?
I know, right? Help me out a little bit. I was gonna. I don't know if. Yeah, I was gonna.
Yeah, give it a run.
I'm gonna. So yeah, this is.